Can you imagine going on vacation with your family? You've been planning it for weeks and you're all so excited to go. And it's actually the first time you're taking your entire family on a plane. And suddenly a flight attendant comes up to you and asks you to leave the flight without any explanation. You're subjected to searches by the FBI, and even after being cleared by the FBI and the entire federal government, a plane still won't let you on, and they refuse to sell you a ticket to go anywhere. Can you imagine your little brother, your little nephew, about 4 years old, looking up at you and asking you, why aren't we allowed to go on planes? And what answer do you have to give them? That a couple of years ago, before you were born, some bad people did horrible things, and we just happened to share the same God. That's it. Today I would like to introduce you to the phenomenon known as Islamophobia. I will be doing this by showing you the effects it has on Americans and American Muslims, sharing some statistics with you about the impact it has on America, and commenting on examples of how this injustice is taking place right now. Why would anybody fear Muslims? Muslims are often regarded as terrorists, and when you hear the word terrorist or Muslim, most people actually have this image in their mind. It's what we see on the news all the time, especially after the attacks after September 11th in New York City. So the truth is, it's not all like that. I can speak from experience because when I was in high school, I got my class ring. And I don't know if you can see that. It's actually a moon and a star. And it's really, really small on the ring. And yet, when people would come up to me, most of them didn't even know what it was. And some people who did know what it was would start making the joke, so haha, I can't get you mad because you're going to blow me up, or I'm never going to take a flight with you. But after a while, it's like, why are you laughing at this? If I see you wearing a cross on your neck, then I'm going to go, oh, if I get mad at you, I'm going to nail you to a cross. It doesn't work that way. I agree very much with the quote that Muslim American writer Arslan Ibn Kar said, Islamophobia has become the accepted form of racism in America. When Time magazine interviewed American Muslims, many of them confessed to feeling as if they are second-class citizens and not proper Americans. I'd like to share with you some statistics that illustrate Islam's effect on America. A 2007 study conducted by the Pew Research Center shows that there is an estimated 2.35 million Islam Americans living in the United States today, a population which is significantly smaller than the estimated 6 to 8 million that was thought before. Unfortunately, the smaller size of the Muslim population makes them more susceptible to misunderstanding from other Americans. An example of this is seen in the national poll taken by Time magazine, showing that 46% of those interviewed believe Islam was more likely to encourage violence against non-believers. However, more and more Muslims are beginning to surface. According to Islamic study professor in the University of Kentucky, Isnan Bazbi, there are currently 1,900 mosques in the United States. It is an increase from 2001 that was 1,200 mosques. However, these mosques are not easily accepted within the white community. They often generate much frustration in many citizens and hate. Examples of this injustice are taking place, for example, in Temecula, where citizens protested a Muslim center by bringing dogs to the temple, which are often seen as disrespectful in the Muslim culture. More recently, in Gainesville, Florida, a pastor announced plans to burn copies of the Quran. Muslims hold the Quran very sacred, and this is my Quran. And it's actually in English. It's not in Arabic, so it's not seen as sacred, but I still feel very close to it. So I keep it in plastic bags, and I keep it very clean. The most publicized mosque building that you have probably heard of right now is the one taking place 2 blocks away from Ground Zero in New York City. This will be a 13-story high Muslim community center that actually only has 1 room for worship, and will have a pool, a gym. A lot of that stuff people don't know because the media chooses one side. I believe that both sides have an opinion and that they should be able to be heard. A lot of the victims of the foundation is disrespectful, while the people who are for it say that this is actually making tolerance towards people. However, I still feel hurt when I see things like this. That's all other people know about Islam. They think it's the religion of hate that we teach people to just kill everyone that doesn't agree with us. To reiterate what I showed, my speech, I showed the effects of Islamophobia on Americans, shared statistics that illustrate the impact of Muslims in the United States, and also gave examples of injustice that are happening to us. I don't formally call myself a Muslim because I do also believe in other things, but when people make criticism like this, it hurts. I know what it's like to be heard upon, and I just really hope that this informs you and maybe think twice about something that you say.
Robbie, what did you think?
I thought her thesis was pretty clear. The story at the beginning was very interesting, so it kind of caught everybody's attention from the very get-go. She was good about letting us know what she was going to talk about. I thought her quote tied in well. She did a good use of her research. Her visuals were kind of really quick, come and go. You only got a second to look at it, but I thought they meshed in what she was talking about pretty well. I got a hint of a persuasive speech towards the end, but then she came back, so overall she did really well, I think.
Yeah, the visualization's okay if you have an actual example instead of a hypothetical. I think it would be stronger. The subject's clear. You have a very well-stated thesis statement, and you set up the content pretty effectively. You've got contemporary issues that you're talking about, so that gives us a justification for listening. The supporting material, I thought you were solid, especially early on in the speech. I thought maybe a little bit less so in the later parts of the presentation. The data, for instance, on the issues that went on at the Temecula Mosque protest, I think you should give us a source citation on that. The visuals, I've got to agree with Robbie. You went to use the document camera, and I thought that was fine. And you rushed that ring thing right under there, and I just barely got a chance to see it before it was off again, so it felt a little bit like you were rushing through that. The same thing when you were showing your copy of the Quran. The other images, I thought that you had them up for a longer period of time, so it's easier to see how they fit in the speech. For the most part, they're transition issues or creating some interest in the subject matter, and that was fine. The delivery issues, the main criticism that I have is that I did think it felt a little bit rushed while you were speaking, and you could slow down a little while you were talking and relate more to the audience there. I thought the summary is very good, and I would agree with Robbie a little bit. Towards the end, there is more of a persuasive element to the speech than informative, and so you want to be careful about that, but I didn't think it was a big problem, just something a little bit off, on a tangent. All right, thank you.